Hey, what's going on out there? Man, you know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia giving you a special segment today entitled Balancing Two Lives Towards Success. I know that might seem or sound a little sketchy, but trust me, relax. We're definitely going to get in depth on what we mean by that. And we're in our virtual studio today with a special guest. It's somebody you've seen on the show before. I don't have enough time to talk about this guest's accolades and all the things that is going on with her. Just know this: she is the founder, CEO of Wordsmith Resource LLC, and the proud author, bam, there's got to be a better way. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 is definitely on its way. Early 2025. So definitely check that out. So I have in the studio today somebody that I admire. I definitely feed off her energy. Definitely have my moments where I feel like, you know what, I don't feel like doing anything no more. I'm going to take a hiatus myself. But then as soon as I do that, I see her posting something on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and it's just like, or our conversations we had, she gives me some updates, and I'm just like, if she could keep going, I got to keep going. So please welcome Miss Sandrea Flowers. How we doing today, Miss Flowers?
I'm doing well, Zeus. Doing well. Thank you so much for that intro. Back at you. Listen, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep up with you. I think you're a little bit ahead of the pack than me, so I'm just trying to, catch up to what you're doing. But definitely you're doing big things where you're at.
Thank
Much blessings to you,
you.
uh, going towards your goals and whatnot. I felt it was apropos for me and you to do this segment together
Yes.
because when we're talking about balancing two lives towards success, stressing the part of balancing two lives for you viewers out there, what are we exactly talking about with that? Well, Sandrea and myself are pretty much in the same boat when it comes to we're operating a business, but at the same time, we have a 9 to 5. So for the viewers out there that happen to watch this segment, this is definitely directed towards you. I hope everybody can take something from this segment. But for those out there who is definitely on the grind where you have to manage your 9 to 5 versus operating your business, it definitely can be overwhelming at times. Um, just from a mental, physical aspect of just trying to get things together. You still have to find a way to, right, take care of yourself, take care of your family, your household. You may not be in the position just yet to make your business your new 9 to 5. So we're kind of going to go talk about the ins and outs, the pros and cons, just the obstacles, the struggles that come along with trying to juggle these two lives, so to speak. So to start off, Sandy, I would like us to kind of like speak on just the daily pressures, the struggles that come trying to balance these two. Because obviously time is a factor, right? So
Absolutely.
usually your 9 to 5 is when you wake up in the morning, you're getting yourself ready to go to your 9 to 5.
Right.
And then usually after your 9 to 5, most people will love to just go home to the comfort of their home, take a shower, get dinner, relax, kick up your feet. But for you and I, it's not that simple. You leave the 9 to 5, you're looking to utilize your time as best as you can to accomplish your goals, work on different projects, just trying to elevate your business. So let's speak on that, Sandy. What are your thoughts about managing the daily pressures of your employment versus remaining focused on your business needs?
So it's like you said, it's a struggle. It's really a balancing act. Not too many of us can do it well, but we trek through it. For me, time management is big. Time management is big, and priority management. So the priority for right now is my 9 to 5 because that's what pays the bills, right? And
Hmm.
so I get up. I don't know about other folks, but I get up very early in the morning. So I'm up at 2:30 in the morning. I
Yeesh. You go, girl. I remember them days. I don't
well,
get up that quite early, but
well, between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. I'm a morning person, so I carve out some
mm,
some hours before I go to work. It's just
okay.
more peaceful. I can think clearly. I have some time to myself, and I can work on my business, right? I
Okay.
set up whatever I need to set up for the day, whether it's social media posts or respond to a client, send out a draft for review. Along those lines, I can do that before I start my 9 to 5, and then I get ready for work, and I can do the 9 to 5. And then, as you said, when I get home, I'll carve out some time to answer emails, respond to clients, do a final draft, to work on my writing. So again, time management and prioritizing what I have going on for the day, and then again thinking ahead too. So where do I want to be in a week? Where do I want to be in 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? I think I shared with you previously. I'll be starting school next month, so I'm taking a screenwriting course at New York Film Academy, and next month is
Yeah, I
going to be
remember that.
because, like I mentioned, I'm also moving over to another role at my nine to
Mm.
five. So you see how the year has the year has flown by. We're about to enter the
Yeah.
end of the year, fourth quarter. So again, going back to time management and just prioritizing to make sure I get stuff done.
And I think that's a good point too. It sounds like to me you're just doing a great job of utilizing your time. I mean, time can be your friend, but also in our case, it can also be our enemy. It could be
Yes.
detrimental if you're not utilizing the time properly. I know in my particular case, I just started a new position a few months ago, and it entails a little bit of both doing some admin with on the field, on the site work as well. So I'm out in the field a little bit, probably like 60-40 between being in the office and then being out in the field. But the great thing about my position, it allows me a little bit more flexibility when it comes to my time. So I just know for myself, I kind of utilize that time to my benefit and catch up on emails. I talk with the rest of the team. If I'm able to, I might do a quick video chat with the team just to get some updates, some insights on how we're going on different projects, set up appointments. And usually that's the time when I set up appointments for like what's going on for the next month as far as like video shoots or just what we're going to be doing in the studio. And then, like you said, you're an author as well. A person of many hats. You wear many hats. I'm the same here. You got to find time for your personal craft, your personal projects as well. We're both authors, so I definitely I keep a notebook with me. And I'm usually always generating ideas as I go. If I can't get to my notebook, I have the notepad on my phone. I'm constantly jotting things down just so that it stays fresh in my memory whenever I'm able to get back to it. But I think for you guys out there that is viewing is the main thing we're just trying to tell you is when it comes to the pressures, obviously there's other obstacles as well you're gonna have to overcome. But the best thing for you to like ensure that you're moving in the right direction is your time. Utilize your time to your benefit. Yes, don't burn yourself out, but at the same time, make the best of it. Even if it's just a little bit that you're working on, you're moving in the right direction. Any little bit that you're doing towards your business to elevate it, it's always a win. Wouldn't you agree, Sandy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say this though. So sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes, listen, sometimes we do burn ourselves out and we're just tired, right?
Yeah,
And or other priorities are taking us away from our craft. Uh,
yeah,
you don't have the mental capacity to dedicate to your craft. For
Right.
me, when that happens, I don't beat myself up if I take a day or 2 days or even a week where I have not written something down or entered that creative space. It's fine. It happens. Don't beat yourself up with that. Okay? Take whatever time you need, whatever respite you need to get back on the on jump back on the bandwagon, and then keep it moving.
Yeah, that's a really good point because you could definitely deter yourself. You could be your own worst enemy
Yes.
because you tend to get overwhelmed. You're trying to utilize your time as best fit for yourself, but also juggle and manage other things as well. Most people have a family. Obviously, you want to spend time with your family. You don't want to neglect them. You definitely don't want to neglect your household as far as what needs to be done in the household. Obviously, you need time for yourself to kind of desensitize yourself, get yourself mentally right, maybe even physically too. So, going back to what you were saying about finding that balance, it's easy for anybody to sit up here and give you kind of like the A through Z outline of how you can find this balance, but you can only find it for yourself as far as what you're able to put on your shoulders, you know? So that
Yeah.
goes back to just being honest with yourself as far as what your limitations are versus your strengths. I know for me personally, I don't have a problem multitasking. Like right now, I'm operating the business, but it's nothing for me. I'm working on my new book. You
Nice.
know, uh, me and my business partner, I know a lot of you guys already know, we're part of the production duo Alpha Omega, and we just put out our new album a couple weeks ago. So, besides the daily operations of just keeping your business going, I have my personal things I'm working on as well, and I still find time for the family. So, it's manageable. You can do it, but you
Yes.
have to be honest as far as you yourself. What are you able to handle versus I think this is a little bit too much for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So hopefully for people out there who's watching, you could kind of like find that within yourself. But at the end of the day, you got to make the call. Again, we're giving some tips, some techniques. We're giving you from our personal perspective. But for your viewers out there, you definitely have to take the time to figure this out on your own before you really dive into it, especially since if you are going to work the 9 to 5 and you're really trying to elevate your business or whatever grind that you're on, um, really be prepared for it because you're going to be sacrificing a lot, a lot. So if you want to make your goals or accomplish your goals and fulfill your dreams, you definitely need to be prepared to sacrifice, especially when it comes to time.
Yes.
So, great point, Sandy. So to move on, I think this is like a perfect segue because when it comes to the pressures and just trying to keep this balance between your 9 to 5 and operating your business, you need to create some realistic goals. And you kind of touched on it a little bit there, Sandy. So for our viewers out there, enlighten them on how to create and maintain, not just create, but maintain it for the long haul, realistic goals between the 9 to 5 and your business.
Well, you hit you the key word you just said is realistic. So we can't. Um, I tend to shy away from. Some people will have real big bombastic goals. If it's not realistic, chances are you may not achieve them. So especially
Mm-hmm.
initially in the beginning, it's best to be realistic with them. They should be small, bite size, and then over time, if you want them to be bigger, as long as they're manageable, then that's fine. But in terms of goals, managing the 9 to 5 and the business, again, you want to make sure what's priority. So if you're first starting out though, in terms of the business, have you set up the business in terms of officially? Did you file your LLC? Did you incorporate the business? Whatever entity you're looking to set the business up as, have you done that? Did you secure your EIN? Um, Depending on the business, Zeus and I we're authors, and Zeus is also into music. Uh, do you have, what is your background in that area? Are there any certifications? Is there any specific knowledge that you want to get under your belt before you proceed? So it's little things like that that you want to get under your belt, and those can be your goals. You can set those goals over time. I like to set a time frame for my goals. So I want to achieve this in 3 months, 3 weeks, however it may be, 6 months, 9 months, a year. And I'll even craft it out yearly. So for 2024, I'm doing this. We're in August now. I already know what I want to do for 2025. And make sure you write it down. Make sure you write it down.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point of just creating this outline for you and doing specifics within your outline. Great point that you make is of with the goals is creating these deadlines for yourself. You know, you need to kind of keep yourself stringent to the deadlines too, because that allows you to continue to stay focused at the task at hand.
Yes.
If you're so flippy floppy, so to speak, when it comes to, okay, you're approaching your deadline, you're not quite there yet on finishing this project. Oh, it's okay. I could just come back around and get to it. 9 out of 10 times, you're probably not. Because now your mind done moved on to something else. And now you didn't finish this last project. And that might be detrimental to your business. That might have been the one that really kind of like put you in a great position to elevate yourself, whether it's from a promotional standpoint, you're endorsing your brand, you're marketing whatever services provided through your business or products. That might have been the one that kind of gets you over the hump and put you in the position where like you can elevate. So part of that realistic goals is also too precisely your goals should be precise according to what you're trying to accomplish at that time. A lot of times people like just rambling off a bunch of ideas. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. But is it really going to elevate your business, or is it going to be more detrimental? What do you think?
No, I agree with you. And I would add to your point, in that same vein, some of us, listen, a lot of us, we have a lot of ideas in our head, right?
Yeah.
And they may not necessarily be in the same group. You might have an idea about, so let's take, for example, Elon Musk. So you see he has SpaceX, you see he has Tesla, you see he has Twitter, right? So for us little people, we may have, okay, I have this idea, and this idea. What is your parent business? What is the primary business? You might have a million and one ideas, a million and one goals, but focus on your primary. Like what part of the business is going to make you money, right? Or what part of the business is where your heart is? What's your passion? Work on that. Get your processes in place for that. Get your money automated, right? Your processes automated. Once that's established, then if you want to pursue this other goal, this other idea, then do that. What happens sometimes is we want to work on this, and this at the same time, or maybe not even at the same time. We work on this for a month. Next month, we're working on something else, but we finish nothing. It just don't do that. Don't do that. Try to avoid it as possible.
I mean, Sandy, you're hitting on all cylinders here. I hope your viewers are really like tuning in here because he's dropping some gems here. I'm definitely in agreement with that as well. I think that goes back to what we were talking about with the pressures. Some of these pressures or struggles you go through is really yourself. You're putting it on you, right. Because you're, quote unquote, you're biting more than what you can chew.
Right.
So exactly. It goes back to what I was saying of just being realistic as far as being honest with yourself. I feel like being honest with yourself should be the easiest thing you should do in the world. But for some people, it's hard. You know, they make it more like this really trivial, formulaic type of deal here, and it's really not that serious. I mean, you're talking about yourself. What can you handle? What you cannot handle? You know, obviously, between these two things, you're going to have to manage your time. You know, so the best way to do that, come up with an outline. I love the point that you were made too about understanding your business as far as what is more lucrative or what's going to be, you know, put you in the position to elevate. Because I know with our business with Olympian Multimedia, especially coming from the tail end of the COVID, dealing with that whole scenario, which was like really a travesty for a lot of businesses, especially small businesses. But most people know we're multimedia, so we do all facets of media: photography, videography, music, graphic design. We also have consulting services as well. But to get a feel for the business, 45% of our business actually comes from the music production, the services that we provide through that. So it made business sense to put a lot of our essentials and our resources toward that. It's not to say you're neglecting all the other facets because we still provide them things, but to put us in a better position where we can elevate, it just made logical sense to start moving toward the music route and starting to get that going. The video part is obviously coming up. You know, we do produce 3 video series on YouTube as well, but that's a great point too that I'm glad you brought up, and I hope your viewers can appreciate that as well, is understanding your business as well. And just as one little quick side point of just trying to how can I put it, like uh find a way between your 9 to 5 and your business or operating your business. Take some pointers from your 9 to 5. You know, see how they're operating their business. Ask questions. I do it all the time. You know, and then obviously for what you view and what you're a part of, especially in our positions, you know, we're working in admin, so we kind of can really hone in a little bit on different business decisions and just how they go about, you know, going about with their business or operating their business. So why not take a little bit of that for yourself, see how they do things, and maybe you can incorporate some things here and there within your business. What do you think?
No, I agree. And so you spoke on the business side. So in terms of looking at the 9 to 5, listen, as creatives, as authors, the world is our oyster. So even when I'm excuse me, even when I'm at work, um, it everything is like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I could use that. Or even something mundane as just a simple conversation or seeing a customer, anything. Because we're creatives, it's like, oh, you can think of something creatively about what you just saw, and then I'll jot it down. So yes, absolutely, use your 9 to 5 to further not just your business or to help you in terms of doing better with what you have going on the business side, but also the creative side. I do that all the time. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I'm glad you brought that up because I thought I was the only one to be doing that, man. But like sometimes, you know, people see me, I'm pretty much known where I'm at. You know, I keep the notebook with me handy. I'm always jotting stuff down. And, you know, they kind of look at it like, I don't know how you able to gain any kind of thoughts around here, you know, working here. You know, I don't know what motivates you to jot something down. Like, I don't know how you're able to, but it's just like, that's the writer in us that we can draw inspiration, even like what you said, the most minute thing, you can, you know, draw some type of inspiration for that. And that kind of goes back to of like making the most of your time as well. You know, you might have them few minutes to go ahead and, you know, I'm not advocating for like you got to go hard all day every day. You know what I mean? Take your breaks. You know, take the time to kind of relax a little bit, but at the same time, you don't want to waste a moment either.
No, I agree. And um, just to add on to that, again, it's not just a 9 to 5. I have a lot of ideas. I don't want to. Probably shouldn't say this. I have a lot of ideas when I'm in the bathroom, when I'm taking a shower, and
Yeah.
and
I'm
I
with
have
you.
to, I have to jump out and write it down because I'll forget. I'll forget.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting how you can be in the bathroom and like 10 ideas pop up in your head. But wherever it is that you are, you want to write it down because sometimes I'll think of something and swear to myself I'm not going to forget, and I forget, and it thoroughly annoys me. So, to your point, uh, keep a notepad, record it in your phone, type it in your phone. But I think some of the most amazing ideas just come off the cuff, and you don't want to forget them.
Mhm. Yeah. Just as a sidebar point, I think that's just good too, just from the creative aspect, being an author, is I feel like some of my best work, like within the book, came off of like some impromptu, you know, thought that came to my head or concept that came to my head. Sometimes my ideas come like an avalanche, like a flood. And there's like so many. And, when you kind of give it some thought, you'd be like, man, these ain't really half bad ideas. So then all of a sudden, it's like all the words come to me now. Like
Yes.
so like you're going to, like what you were saying, of hurrying up and writing it down. So, I'm paraphrasing a lot of things and just jotting down a lot of notes or whatever. But when I look back at like some of the stuff that I wrote, I'm like, man, like I literally wrote this within like a half an hour. But I feel like it was like really meaningful, more so than the other stuff that I wrote that actually took me probably like a few days or maybe a week to come to, put it together or whatever. So
Right.
I think that's a really good point too. Is like build off the momentum because you never know. Sometimes the spur of the moment, impromptu type things might really lead you to something special, so you definitely don't want to ignore them moments. So, Sandy, let's get to our third and final point here regarding balancing the two lives. So, let's break it down for the viewers real quick. We started off with the daily pressures, the struggles of trying to manage our 9 to 5 and all the responsibilities with that versus focusing on our business, our personal goals. Then we moved on to how we can create and maintain realistic goals between the two. So now we want to start talking about making transitions. Now, for viewers out there, you might actually have the 9 to 5 and you might have a side business and you're content with that. And that's a beautiful thing. You're content with the 9 to 5. You're just looking to make like a few extra bucks. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this little hustle over here, and that's fine. You're really not trying to build on that hustle and make it into like a full-fledged business in turn, maybe like a franchise or a corporation or something to that effect. But we want to talk to the people out there that wants to transition their business to their new 9 to 5. Uh, I don't want to speak for you, Sandy. I know for me personally, I'm busting my tail to make my business my new 9 to 5. No disrespect. I appreciate the job that I'm in. It's giving me the opportunity to take care of my family. But at the same time, uh, I kind of look at it in this kind of spectrum that you are fulfilling someone else's dreams and goals. You're making someone else rich. And so the fact that I've been given the opportunity to work and make a living, but at the same time, like I have my own goals and dreams and aspirations and ambitions that I want to fulfill as well. So, Sandy, let's speak on that. So, what's the strategy involved in balancing your livelihood, but at the same time staying focused on elevating your business so you could transition that to being your new 9 to 5?
So, in my opinion, if you're looking to go from your 9 to 5 to your full time business, you need a team. You can't do that alone, in my opinion. Whether it's your family,
Really?
or it's friends, or whoever you reach out to, acquaintances, if you're really serious about doing that, taking it next level, you have to have a team.
Mhm.
And on your team, you either have to have a bookkeeper or an accountant because they need to run your numbers. They need to know your numbers. You have small business owners out here um, who did what we're doing, juggling the 9 to 5 and the small business, who have gone out on their own and they're struggling because they don't know their numbers. You have to have. So I would strongly recommend if you're looking to do that, uh, you got to get a bookkeeper or an accountant on your team. For me, I have 22 years in on my job. I love my job. So uh, the goal is to work on the work on the business. And then when I retire, we're going to do this full time. So I
Okay.
started the company officially in 2015. So I'm giving myself a couple of years to be established. Sometimes also what we do, we'll retire and then start a business, and then you look like a brand new company. I'm not doing business with you. You just started. So I would recommend uh, start before you retire. You want to get established an identity. You want a couple of years under your belt, whether it's for customers or whether it's to apply for a loan or some grants or whatever. You want to see that you have some years under your belt. Um, what else? I mean, it's just a whole host of stuff that you want to do in terms of making that transition. For I can't speak to folks that. So, for example, my brother works for himself. He pretty much has always worked for himself. So I don't have that expertise because I haven't done it. Um, my realm is 9 to 5, and then again, when I retire, we're going to take this full time.
That sounds awesome. I mean, again, you got a plan in play. Me, I'm trying to speed up the process a little bit.
I hear that.
I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to knock my job. Again, I appreciate it. But at the same time, I'm just speaking for myself. So I feel like what I do for a living, I feel like I'm just too smart for it. And I
Yes.
know this might sound cocky or a little bit like I'm putting myself on a pedestal, but I just feel like I'm too smart for what I'm doing, and I feel like my potential is not being maximized, like it's going to waste, because there's only so much I could do within my position or whatever. So that's what motivates me a lot as far as like trying to transition Olympian into my 9 to 5. I am definitely not looking to become rich or famous. Money and the spotlight means nothing to me. I definitely want to be in a position where I'm living comfortable
Right.
and everybody's taken care of. But my end game, I have an end game when it comes to this. So I do want to see Olympian thrive and be successful, but I want to work toward to the point where I could kind of pass it off. Like I could pass it off to my team. I can allow them to kind of run the business. And then I can end up doing what I always wanted to do, which is my main passion, and it's the right. Like I love the right. It's hard for me to describe it to people. People be looking at me or talking to me, be like, I don't know why you want to sit here and write and do. I mean, it's bad enough I got to read, but you over here, you want to write. You just keep on writing, right? But it's like it's hard to explain. Like
Yeah.
I've known since a young age that I wanted to be an author. There's no better experience to me than to write because I just have like an active mind anyway. You know what I mean? So it's nothing for me to generate ideas and put them into a manuscript or whatever. But that's my end game. If I can elevate Olympian to the point where I can pass it off and it's in good hands, then that allows me to like fulfill my ultimate dream, where I could just wake up. Maybe I'll wake up as early as you, 2 o'clock in the morning, and go get a cup of coffee or whatever, and I sit down in front of the computer or a notebook or whatever, and I just go ahead and write,
Right.
and just take my little breaks throughout the day, come back, maybe write a couple more pages or whatever. I actually got that. I actually get inspiration from Stephen King,
Yes.
who happens to be one of my favorite authors. He actually said that in an interview because the person that was interviewing him was asking him, like, how is it you're able to, like, put out so many books? Because sometimes you'll put out, like, maybe like 2 or 3 books within a calendar year or whatnot. And he says, well, I always keep the one goal. Every day I write at least 6 pages. Whether it's good or not, I'm
Right.
always writing at least 6 pages. So what I do is I wake up in the morning, I get my coffee, I get my tea, get some breakfast. I sit down, I try to do at least like, 2.5 pages. Then I take a break.
Oh.
So I take a break for a couple hours, 2, 3 hours. I come back, I write a couple more pages. And then later on, I have dinner. And then when I'm settling down, getting ready for bed, I write my last 2 pages. And there you go. I have my 6 pages for the day. So I accomplished my goal. And he said, this has been working for me for like over 30 years. So it's nothing for me. You could do the math. If you're doing 6 pages a day for a whole month, and I'm just assuming he takes the weekend off, he definitely got like more, a book already within a month or at least close to it or whatever. So that's my goal personally, is just to work towards so that I can like write every day and just be a writer and do everything along with that. But also too to see my team thrive as well. I'm all about elevating other people. That's why I always reach out to you. If there's anything that I can do that's
Right.
within my power, I'm gonna keep it real, Sandy. If I ain't, if I'm not able to help you out a little bit, I'm not trying to put you in a bigger hole that you're already in. But if it's within my power, I just want to see people thrive. So what kind of greater feeling that would be if I could get Olympian on a different platform, and then I see my team thrive and they're in the position where, they could get away from their 9 to 5. Because everybody associated with Olympian, they got 9 to 5s too,
Right.
but they're sacrificing, they're putting in it, putting the time and the effort because they believe in Olympian. They believe we can elevate this to a level where, like, this can be, become successful. So that's my end game, and that's what I work toward hard for. Is it gets a little hard or maybe a little tedious because I'm kind of impatient sometimes. I kind of want something to happen like this, and it just doesn't happen that way. Things need to evolve and whatnot. And sometimes as a person, you tend to lose hope a little bit. But like I mentioned at the beginning, being with like-minded people like yourself, who's always on the grind, always doing something, it's like that's a real motivation, and it's very much warranted and needed. So definitely, I just want to give you your flowers, so to speak. You know what I mean? I want to give you your flowers, Miss Flowers.
Thank you.
You definitely are doing your thing, and you definitely inspiring me. I know we haven't known each other for a long time, but I just felt the good vibes right from the beginning, and just little sentiments here and there, or giving me a little quick update here and there, what you're going on. It just means the world to me because now it's just like she's going through the same thing I'm going through, and she's not making no excuses.
Yeah.
So, like, for the viewers out there that's going to watch the video or watch this segment, hopefully you gain some enlightenment on that. As far as like, it's going to be you're going down a hard road, uh, but persevere and definitely get yourself a team, like what Sandy says, but also get yourself around like-minded people that will keep you motivated. Because you're going to be around. I'm pretty sure you've been around, Sandy, some people that they're just constant negativity all the time. Don't matter what you do, you can solve world hunger, and they're just going to find out with it anyway. So it's just like, goodness, man, like I'm trying to do something positive over here, and you're just shooting me down. You know, I
Right.
mean, have you had any experience like that?
I have, but few experiences because I you can immediately, almost immediately, I guess, detect a person's energy, and no, I don't have time for that. I will say this though, um, for me, not so much negative people, but non-creative people. For me, it's non-creative people and non-business people. That to me is extremely
Mm,
frustrating because again, you're not around your people, you're not around your tribe. Um, so what I do with that though, I try to spin it and try and find what I can get. What can I learn from these folks um, that I can spin creatively. You know what I mean? And one thing I just wanted to add because as I was listening to your end goals, so my end goal, the ultimate goal, is to pass the company off to my daughter if she wants it. But for me, like a personal achievement. As I said, I'm taking that screenwriting class next month. So for me, I have that $1 million story in me that will it will be a movie and it's going to be in theaters. I can tell you that right now. I have a $1 million story. The ultimate goal for me is to see it on the big screen. So that's really what I wanna work towards.
and I see that happening. I mean, you definitely know is not in your vocabulary. All I gotta say is this real quick. Just don't forget us little people, you know. And can I get a ticket to the red carpet thing? You know what I mean? So I can, check out the movie before everybody else do. I don't ask for too much. You could get me. I could sit in the back if you need me to. I don't care. But I definitely want to be there when that moment happens. And I think you hit the nail on the coffin too. Like I'm with you. Like I see myself running a corporation at some point. I see myself in the nice 3-piece suit in the boardroom making big decisions. I see myself being in some type of lab, and
Yes.
I'm on my mad scientist bit and just coming up with different products and stuff like that. Like what I'm doing right now. I'm working on this invention concept right now. Like I truly see myself in that regards where like I'm going to be there, you
Right.
know, and a lot of people try to like deter you, I guess, or maybe they're not doing it intentionally. I'll put it that way, but they'll be like, well, look at your age, you're not getting any younger. You know what I mean? So does that ever play a part with you? These are what people ask me. Does that ever play a part with you as far as your age is concerned? That maybe, just maybe, it's a little too late and that the sun already
Oh, no.
set already.
Oh,
So what
oh
do
no.
you what do you think on that?
No, no, no. Uh, the best is yet to come. No.
Yeah.
So listen, and I'm sure you've done this. I I do a lot of research online. So you look at all these famous. What's the lady's name? Vera Wang. Is that her name?
Yeah,
She
the clothes
started late.
design.
She started late. Samuel L.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson started late. Quite a few
Mm-hmm.
people started later in life, and they
Mm-hmm.
are amazing. So no, that doesn't deter me at all. We age like fine wine. No, we're getting better. No, not at all.
Yeah, I
That's,
mean, yeah.
and here's what
I'm
I don't know how old you are, but I just turned 46. What's good
oh,
about
I'm right behind you.
what's good about being in your 40s, for most of us anyway, we are established. We are established. We have our homes,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're settled. We have the family. We're saved. We have savings for the most part. We have savings. We have investments.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some coins that we can redirect to our business and or redirect
Mm-hmm.
it to ourselves to improve ourselves. So no, absolutely not. Starting a business in your 40s, no, this is wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, I'm right behind you. Matter of fact, my My birthday's in a couple weeks. You know, my birthday's the 16th, so
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
41.
Oh,
So you know, I'm
you're a baby.
you know, you know, well, yeah, I want to be a baby, man. I don't want nobody looking at me like, yo, man, you looking like an old fool over here. But but yeah, I'm with you on there. You know, just keeping that vision in hand as far as like, you know, I'm not worried about my age or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like the future is just it's big and bright and beautiful. Uh do I wish certain things would have went my way or things could be a little bit better? Of course, we can nitpick on some stuff,
Right.
but at the end of the day, I feel like you know, just speaking for Olympian, that it's moving in the right direction. Especially within the last year and a half. Uh, the way I've been networking with other people and come across great individuals like yourself. Um, it's truly a blessing that I don't take for granted as well. So the future is bright, like you said. You know what I mean? It's just you got to see it for yourself.
Right.
You know, you can't be dependent on other people to kind of keep you pumped up and motivated. You got to find that within yourself because you're going to have a lot of instances where things are just not working out. All your T's ain't going to be crossed and all your I's ain't going to be dotted. So when them situation come, that's when it really shows the resolve in you, the fortitude in you. Are you willing to overcome them things, or are you just going to settle and be like, oh, well, I tried, so give me an A for effort? No, I'm not going to give you A for effort because that's the beauty of life. You have time to redeem yourself
Right.
if you want to, you know. So what if this idea didn't work out? You know, with Olympian, the multimedia aspect, to be honest, is starting to be like a dying breed. Only because, from like a photography standpoint, a
Right.
videography standpoint, the advancement of devices and whatnot now, it's empowered and it is emboldened people to be their own photographers,
Yes.
videographers, even music production. They got so many very sophisticated apps that you could download, especially if you're a big Apple user
Right.
using the Apple phone, the iPad. It's convenient, it's portable. You can pretty much do anything you want to do on the go.
Right.
So as a person like me, even though I feel like we do good work here at Olympian, you know, you have to acknowledge that at some point, you know, people are not going to be inclined to pay for your services when it comes to that. So in my shoes, I could pretty much look at it like, well, this is all I'm doing, so I might as well just give up. You know what I mean? Because my whole business is predicated on this. But slowly now, I have transitioned the business into a product development business where I'm developing products. And
Nice.
then as far as the services, I'm doing it in a way where I can help people market through media projects,
Right.
specific media projects. And then we just started up our new online store, our music store, where we're offering all kinds of services and musical content for people who need it, not just from a musical standpoint, but if you need that kind of content for like your videos, if you have some one shot videos for like your TikToks or YouTube reels or any or shorts, you be able to utilize the musical content that we provide on there. So for your viewers out there, just take the time that you just have to think things through in a different angle, but don't give up just because certain things are just not going your way because it's inevitable. As much as you want things to be perfect, it's never going to be perfect. You're going to fail. In some way, shape, or form, you're going to fail. I just know for me, I embrace failure because now that gives me a better understanding of where I need to go now to understand that, hey, this didn't work. I shouldn't put so much resource and stock into this,
Right.
but I could take this one slim, the silver lining of positivity right here. This one little piece work for me. Let me exploit that. Let me build off of that and work that into another idea. So,
Absolutely.
like, I mean, is that something like you kind of like have a similar mindset on?
No, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. So I look at it like this: the business is a tree, right? So the root
Mm,
is what we. The root is the original idea we had, the original set of services that we offered. But the tree has the trees grow very large, and you have all these branches.
mm,
So you could have this multiple things going on. So what's good about us, and I mean what's good about humans is we have our capacity, our intellectual capacity is unlimited. It's limited
mm.
by us individually, right? So you see how we have AI going on now, right? And everyone's scared it's going to take over the jobs, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. It's not. It's not. And so we have to figure out, well, how can we use this uh for to our advantage, right?
Mm.
So a lot of folks have asked me, "Aren't you scared that AI is gonna put you out of business in terms of resume writing?" No, I'm not, because first of all, that is so AI is only as good as the information that's being inputted, right? That's data entry.
Yeah, very good point.
That's not
Mhm.
that's not fresh. That's not new. It's you're just putting everything into a database and folks are going to it and it's cranking something out to you. I'm not worried about that at all. However, I'm hoping next level AI. So you see how with years ago, prior to the internet, everything was via email. I mean, snail mail or
Yeah.
phone, right? And then the
Hmm.
internet came. I think the internet was very much an equalizer for a lot of us because if we didn't have the internet, chances are I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be in business or my business would be solely local, right? But we have the internet, and so now we can have our own website, right? So everybody can have their own website. I'm hoping next level AI is where they offer. They might even have it out already. I haven't done the research. I want my own AI, so I want instead of AI, I want SFI, Sandrea Flowers intelligence, because I already have an
Hmm.
idea of what I want. So you particularly since I have an established business, you already know what my expertise is. You know my writing style. I want my own SFI app. So if you're looking for something, okay, go to SFI and it's going to crank out based on my writing style. Um, so again, I say all that to say you just have to think outside the box. Whatever is currently the trend, whatever new thing is coming out, there is a way to figure out how to get your business or how to get that new thing to fit into your business. You just have to think it through.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, don't look at things as a threat, but a possible asset.
Right.
You know, a lot of people tend to get so worked up because it's just like, oh man, this is going to be like this is doom for
Right.
me as far as like what I'm trying to do with my business. When in actuality, it could be a very useful tool. You definitely don't want to get to the point, speaking on the terms of AI, of being dependent on AI. But at the same time, it can prove to be a useful facet as far as like what you're trying to do, especially from like a marketing standpoint, promotional wise. It could definitely be a great tool. But stick to your identity. You know, um, don't change up. If certain things come your way that you feel is a threat, you know, you mentioned before about doing your research. Just do your research and just get a better understanding, and maybe you could come up with something that's a little bit better than what they got going on. So the way I market my services, like with Olympian, knowing that these products that are coming out are a lot more sophisticated. Uh, COVID was such a thing because nobody, you basically had no choice. You were laid up in your house. You
Right.
had no choice but to kind of like be adventurous and start trying out new things. So I'm glad people are a lot more open now to doing new things and whatnot. But I kind of structure Olympian in a way where I don't try to deter people from using these different applications or these different types of features or whatever they come across or different types of technologies. I'm just offering a way where I can help assist you as you're using the technologies.
Right.
So I'm not trying to work myself against that. You know, at the end of the day, you can make up your own mind if you want to use that or not, or if you want to work with Olympian. But at least with Olympian, you're never going to feel like I'm force feeding
Right.
what we got going on. If anything, we want to complement what you already got established.
Absolutely.
So we're not trying to work to be your enemy and whatnot. So I think when you're trying to start a business for you guys or reviewing, kind of look at it from that standpoint too of you got to transcend with the times,
Yes.
you know? Because I come across some people, man, like on some video shoots, and you know they're doing their thing. They've been around for a while. The business has been around for years, and you know just talking with them and just kind of getting some little backdrop on their story or whatever, and they're very adamant about I'm not changing because this has worked for me for 20, 30 years. I'm not changing, and I'm like, well, you know, good for you, and I'm glad you're still in business. But we're in the 21st century now. Like, you might want to start getting up with the times, embracing these different things. Nah, I've been in business for so long. I'm good. Yada, yada, yada. And I hope they continue to be successful. But you, no disrespect to nobody, but you're a fool if you're not willing to change with the times and at least embrace some of these new technologies or new things that are coming out. You'd be a fool not to utilize them in some capacity. So I hope nobody holds that against me or whatever. But I'm just saying it works if you're willing to, like Sandy said, do the research, get the understanding.
I agree.
So,
I do want to add one
go
thing.
ahead.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
listen, a lot of us are creatures of habit, and yeah, a lot of us don't want to change. But as you
Yeah.
said, um, you have to. So even if you can't, even if you're not willing to do a complete 180, you can start off small. Like, depending on how many employees you have, right? Get
Mhm.
one employee, two employees to explore that latest thing, to explore that new software, that new way of doing things. Um,
Mhm.
have them, do a pilot program. See how it works. See what comes out of it and what you can
Mhm.
glean from it and use, as opposed to going just full throttle where you change everything, which is something that you're not going to do. Start small. Start small.
I think that's a great way to end this segment. Is small can be more, little can be more. I think people are so obsessed with hitting a home run, so to speak. Every idea they feel like, and you should feel that way. Whatever idea you put together, whatever the concept is for your business, your startup, you should feel confident like that. Like, you know what? I feel like I put out the best product. I don't care who else you name, the big name people, I don't care. I feel like in the best. You should have that kind of confidence, but that confidence should be also realistic as well,
Yes.
as far as like what you can manage and what you're able to do, especially if you're offering a product or services. You never want to get into a situation where you're basically lying to clients or possible consumers, customers, because somebody's going to call you bluff. So if you're sitting over here saying you're able to do this and you do that, and you really don't have the resources or capabilities to do it, you will be exploited at some time. Best believe that. And I can talk. I can talk it because I went through it. Before it was Olympian, the business was actually called Dreams Fulfilled Productions. And make a long story short, I definitely bit more than I could chew, starting to get in all these different facets of media, and I really didn't have an understanding totally. Um, I come from a music background. I've been doing music for years, so even with that, even though I've been in that realm for years, there was so much more to learn. Just understanding mixing, understanding frequencies, understanding how to properly lay out your songs within the tracks, within your DAW, the different amount of different plugins that you can utilize, understanding when to use effects properly, like EQ, compressor, so forth and so on. It's a lot entailed with it, or just understanding about mastering as well. It's a lot to it. So that's just in a small way, it's just letting your viewers know, like, if you're going to get into something, really get an understanding, understand your limitations, understand your strengths as well. Understand that your limitations, your weaknesses can become strengths at some point. You're never going to be perfect at everything, of course, but whatever you lack, it can become a strength if you're willing to put your ego on the back burner. Because I know with me, with my team, I don't know everything about media. I'm just being real with you. It might look good on the surface. I could talk a good game. I know a little something here and there. But I like to be surrounded by people who are smarter than me or better than me. Because that's the only way I'm going to evolve as a creator or a writer. You know, just being around people that I feel are better than me. I can just tell. Look at their product. Look at their book. Look what they're putting out. It's just a little bit better quality. You know what I mean? So I don't look at them as a threat. I look at it like I want to sit down and talk with you and pick your brain.
Yes.
You know, because you're doing a lot of good things that I kind of want to go in that same direction too. So for your viewers out there, I mean, you got so much at your disposal as far as resources and just making yourself available for people, and stop looking at people as a way like they're a hindrance, or they're going to prohibit you from moving on to the next level. You can use them as an asset. Pick their brain, get an understanding of what they're doing. It's okay to say, like, man, you're better than me at doing this. You know what I mean? It's cool. I say it all the time. You're good. You're real good. So I'm not trying to bite your style, but I need to get an understanding of what you're doing over here, because you got it going on. You know what I mean? So, like with you, Miss Flowers, I'm gonna pitch your book again. Please do yourself a favor and go get her books now. They're available on the website, wordsmithresourcellc.com, or on Amazon, whatever you prefer. But definitely get these books. You're a great writer. I don't know if you've been told that before, or hopefully you've been getting your flowers from other people. But these are really well-written books. It is a very ingenious and creative concept as far as how you put together your poetry. This is phenomenal work.
Thank
and I'm
you.
not just saying that to say that. These are really good. And even though I write poetry, but it's sort of different the way I do my poetry. But I could still learn something from this as I'm reading this and apply it to my writing as well, of just being more concise with my thoughts. Sometimes I tend to be a little wordy, and then the whole message gets a little lost in the translation or whatnot. So that's something that I take from your writing, is just how concise and precise and to the point, but you do it in such an elegant way where it's not over people's heads. It's something that is easy to understand and it's easy to resonate with. So you got a fan over here with me. I can't wait for the third one to go out. That's what I'm saying. People out there, stop playing around. After you're done watching this, go pick up your copies of these books, please. I mean, don't tick me off, man. Just go ahead and get yourself these copies. You're not going to be disappointed, man. It's got to be a better way, volume 1 and 2. I know the new one is coming out. I did mention early next year. Is that's still on point?
Yes, first quarter 2025, and I'm hoping my editor and I are working on it. I'm hoping that it will be the best of the trilogy. We're working on it. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I could go along with that, because you read volume 1 and you're really hooked onto it, and then you kind of get the kind of feeling like, I don't know if she could go better. She could do better than this. Then when volume 2 come out, I was like, well, then she proved me wrong. So if that's the direction that you're going in, I definitely envision that it probably is going to be the best one. You're definitely moving in that uphill trend.
Well,
Uh,
here's what my editor challenged me, right? So my editor challenged me to make the third installment. How does she word it? Make it solely make it positive only, positive
okay.
affirmations, anything um positive. Yeah, I want to say good, but it's more than that. So she's challenged me to make the book uh positive. So that's where the challenge is, and challenge accepted. So that's what we're working on now.
Well, I hate the rain. I hate the rain on anybody's parade or kill their sunshine. But I know with my new book that I'm working on, I went the opposite direction. So this
Listen,
book is
we need that too.
probably
We need that too.
uh, this book is definitely probably the darkest one that I ever wrote. It's definitely one of the most personal. I kind of really made myself vulnerable with this book when putting myself out there a little bit. So hopefully, when people read it, they don't be so overcome. Because I know with my last one, people read a couple of the short stories and they were just like, "Dude, I was not expecting that ending. Like, you really went left field with that. So you were a little wild with that. I wasn't expecting that. Um, but yeah,
Title. What's the title of the next one?
the next one's gonna be called Dimensions. So it's definitely. I think. I think I'm just gonna go along with what you're saying. I think this is like some of my best work.
Nice.
Um, the illustrations in there that I'm gonna put in there. I'm doing some neat, different things that I haven't done before with my writing. It, I guess you could say this book is like an experimental book. I'm trying out different things on here. Um, but it's dark. I definitely would tell people like it's definitely like dark, but it's not meant to like depress nobody. You know what I mean? I
Right.
mean, if you end up reading it, and you take it that way. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? That wasn't my intention. It was kind of like I'm just being upfront and honest to say that not all the time you're going to have a happy ending,
Right.
and that's just the reality of life. So there are glimpses of hope and positivity in the book, but I kind of dwell more on that other end of the spectrum of not every time you're going to get that happy ending. Not everything is peachy all the time,
That's
you
okay.
know. But it's meant to like low key. I hope encourage people to be like, despite the fact that things may not go your way, things can get better. That you can find your way out the tunnel, and there will be light at the end.
Right.
So hopefully people take it. If not, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I wrote it, live with it. It's happening. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, thank you so much for sitting down with me and having this really, really great discussion. I hope your viewers really did get a lot because I felt like a lot of gems were dropped here today. And hopefully it encourages you, especially for those who are aspiring to start their own business. Um, do it. You're going to have a lot of naysayers and whatnot, man, but just block them all out. Do it. It's definitely a lot of hard work. You're going to sacrifice a lot, especially when it comes to your time. But if you find the balance and you create a good outline, get an understanding of, again, your strengths and your weaknesses, and do your research, you build a good team around you, and you stay around like minded people, um, you're definitely going to find some success. So, Miss Flowers, I definitely wish all the blessings in the world for
Likewise.
you. I can't wait to see your movie. Again, I just want that ticket.
That's about
I
five,
just,
10 years.
you know what I mean? I just want the ticket. You know what I mean? Like I want to be up in the mix somewhere in there.
You're
You
in. You're
know,
in. Yes, you're in.
You know, I do the music thing, so
Oh,
you
you
know,
do the music, yes.
I could do the soundtrack or
I know.
maybe like one track for the soundtrack. I don't know, but when
I'm
you
with
make
it.
it big, just don't forget the little people. 'Cause, you know, us little people like myself, we're fans of you. So yeah, that's me giving my flowers to Miss Flowers. Did y'all like that out there? I know y'all thought it was corny, but it's all right. But again, I appreciate you, Miss Flowers. Um,
You, sir.
and on to the next one. Next blessings to you.
Likewise.
Appreciate you sitting down with me. You know who it is, guys. It's Zeus Cruz, Olympian Multimedia, presenting you with this segment, Balancing Two Lives Towards Success. I hope you gain appreciation and got some enlightenment for it. And we're going to check you next time.